Hello, everybody. Welcome to TCFP, or the Colony Football Podcast.
This is a little podcast we like to do based in the Colony, Texas. We talk about everything NFL related regarding recaps from last week's game, recaps from this week's game, and even some fantasy picks. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to check out all our future episodes here on the channel, or you can go to the link in the description at www.callingcardproductions.weebly.com.
So, you want to get started on the Thursday night game, Eagles at Panthers?
Let's do it, Grant.
Okay, so you want to talk about – what do you want to talk about first about that game?
I want to talk about how trash Cam Newton played, all right?
Okay, yeah.
He made that Eagles defense look real good. Throwing 3 picks, only 1 touchdown. You know, he was looking so good over the past couple of weeks. You know, I was starting to think he got over his Super Bowl hangover. But do you think he's over it just yet?
No.
No?
No, I feel like those 2 weeks, like, what defenses did he play the last 2 weeks?
You got the Patriots and what was it? I believe it was the
Lions.
The Lions, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when your defense isn't really playing that good like the Patriots, the worst defense in the league, like, they're making the Jets offense look elite. So, like, what's the score of that game so far? 17-24. Jets are losing, but, like, I feel like they still have a solid chance.
I agree. I also want to talk about how much Cam Newton got thrown around last night by that Eagles defense.
Okay.
The amount of hits he was getting, I almost felt sorry for him. And it almost made sense that he was, you know, complaining about those roughing the passer calls from last year.
Yeah, but, I mean, when you're playing a front seven like the Eagles, you should kind of be expecting it.
Yeah, I almost feel sorry for him. Now, Grant,
I don't.
Now, Grant, I'd like to talk about how well Carson Wentz has not only been playing last week, but how he's been playing all season.
Oh, Carson Wentz is a great quarterback. I said it coming out of the draft. I like Carson Wentz in that Eagles system. I was just so devastated after the way that he performed last season at the second half of the season. Mm-hmm. But how he's playing this year, that's the way I thought he was going to play last year, and I'm happy to see it. 4-1, 5-1?
5-1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Outstanding record.
As much as a Cowboys fan, as much as it pains me to say it, I think if Carson Wentz keeps this up, he can go for an MVP run. What do you think?
I agree with that. Okay, you want to talk about the games this week now?
Let's do it. What do we got first?
Green Bay, Minnesota.
Well, I originally had the Packers winning this game, but according to multiple sources, it looks like Aaron Rodgers is down for the season, so I'm not sure about that. I think
okay, he might be out for the season. We don't know for sure yet. He's out with a broken collarbone in his throwing arm.
Ooh, his throwing arm? Well, let's remember what happened to Tony Romo in 2015 when he broke his collarbone. You know, Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett tried to rush him back, you know, and it just didn't work out for him. You know, he came back way too soon, and he just got injured again. And I feel like if the Packers aren't too careful, the same thing could happen to Aaron Rodgers. What do you think?
I mean, I agree with that, but you also got to remember this. Last time Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone was the 2013 season. He was out for most of the season. Packers played outstanding with their backup quarterback, Matt Flynn, and then Aaron Rodgers comes back week 17 against the Chicago Bears and wins the game on a 4th down.
I'll never forget that game. That was a good one.
You know a game I won't forget? Cowboys throwing a 15-point lead to the Packers and Matt Flynn.
Thank you, Grant, for reminding me of that. All right, what's next?
Let's talk about the utter domination by New Orleans over Detroit.
Ooh. We got 2 good quarterbacks going at it, Matt Stafford and Drew Brees. Who do you got?
I mean, Drew Brees is on my fantasy team, on my bench, though. But, I mean, I think New Orleans, there's only 12 minutes left. They got this game in the bag. Matt Stafford hasn't been playing good the past 3 weeks. They're 2-3 over the past 3 weeks. Like,
really?
that is. And the teams they've lost to were the Panthers and, I forgot the other one.
I believe it was the Falcons.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was by 1 point.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, you know, when the Lions, I believe they started 3-1, if I'm not mistaken. They started 3-1. You know, I had a really good feeling about them, but you know, typical Lions fashion, you know, they got their fans' hopes up, and how did it work out for them? Not very good.
like always.
You know,
Now, the next game we're going to talk about, this one is a real big game. I believe I took the Redskins in this game.
really.
But 49ers, with 4 minutes left, I think they have the ball, and they're only down 3. So I might have to change my pick to the 49ers.
Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I still like the Redskins in this one. Brian Hoyer just got benched. They put in a rookie quarterback.
I'm sorry, never mind. I take that back. I still have the Redskins. Redskins are inside the 10 with 4 minutes left.
Yeah, we'll try this one on instead.
Yeah. Let's switch it up.
There you go. That's more like it.
Little firm.
All right, I got the Redskins too. What's next, Grant?
The next game, it is Chicago and Baltimore. Baltimore, they've been getting outplayed all day by Chicago and the rookie Mitchell Trubisky, who I like, and Deshaun Watson nonetheless. I love Deshaun Watson.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I thought Mitch Trubisky and Deshaun Watson were kind of going to switch the roles that they have going right now. Deshaun Watson obviously is on fire. He has 12 pass touchdowns on the year so far, not to mention 3 or 4 rushing. I thought Mitch Trubisky was kind of going to shock the world and, have that kind of season. And Deshaun Watson would, kind of flee into mediocrity. But I was wrong, clearly. So who do you got?
I mean, Baltimore just scored. If they get the 2 points, then it's tied 24-24.
Wow.
But a minute and 37 left. That's enough time for, if they get the 2-point conversion, for Mitchell Trubisky to lead the Bears down the field and kick a game-winning field goal.
I'd love to see it. I have the Bears winning this one. What do you think?
Oh, I have to agree.
Yeah.
Let's go Chicago.
Very fitting. All right, what's next?
Next is actually a final score. It is Miami Dolphins and Atlanta Falcons, 20-17.
And who won that one?
Miami did.
Really?
Yep.
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler pulled through against Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons.
Wow. Who would have thought? The team that got shut out by the Chargers. The Chargers of all teams. So what do you think went wrong for them?
What I think went wrong is they blew a 17-0 lead. Hashtag Super Bowl 51 all over again.
Typical Falcons. I almost feel sorry for them, but when your franchise was that trash for so many years, it's like, how can you feel sorry for them? But
let me tell you, Matt Ryan's stats: 24 for 35, 247 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 2 sacks.
The stats aren't too terrible. I mean, clearly weren't enough to beat the Miami Dolphins, but
I still can't believe the Dolphins won, though. I'm pretty sure we both took the Falcons winning that, too.
Oh yeah. No, I know Falcons are real keen on blowing leads, but the Dolphins, come on, Atlanta.
Next is my game of the week, because I have this guy on my fantasy team. Houston Texans versus Cleveland Browns. Final 33-17.
Wow. I have this game as my blowout of the week, and we all know Houston was just going to destroy the Browns. They were just going to embarrass them and make them look silly for the most part. But it was just like I predicted. Deshaun Watson went off. He did throw a pick 6 though, but he made up for it with his touchdown passes.
Hold on. What I got to say is you can't expect to win when your quarterback goes into Houston and throws 3 interceptions, 2 of them to Jonathan Joseph. If you throw one to the guy, don't throw it his direction again. He's a great veteran player in that Houston secondary. And then Deshaun Watson sitting here, and mind you, Kevin Hogan, the Browns quarterback who threw the 3 interceptions, had 1 touchdown, 140 yards. And then here's Deshaun Watson with 225 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick 6. The difference in QBR, though, 38.1 for Kevin Hogan, who also threw pick 6. Forgot to mention that, 82 yards. And Deshaun Watson, 103.4.
Wow. Deshaun Watson is putting up such a good rookie campaign. I think he's going to be a candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. All right.
I like the way that team's playing.
All
and
right.
then Myles Garrett also 1 sack on the day. Not that bad. Let's go Houston.
All right, what's next?
We're going to talk about the. Oh, wait. I think a game just kicked off. Yeah. Or no, two.
What do we got?
Rams and Jaguars and Bucks, Arizona.
Let's do Bucks Arizona first. What do you think about that one?
Oh, I have a feeling that game's going to be completely trash. Two trash teams. I think I have Cardinals winning that. I don't remember. I have a feeling because like Larry Fitzgerald is tied with the league, or was tied because he was tied with Zach Ertz, who played Thursday night, and he was tied for 32 receptions, most in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I know for a fact I have Cardinals winning this one. The Buccaneers. And it's sad too because I wanna support the Buccaneers. I want to,
I don't.
be on the famous Jameis bandwagon, but
Lamus Jameis.
well, that's gonna be the case this game because this game right here, it just seems like a game Tampa Bay would just lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is what they do. Tampa Bay isn't the only team like this in the league. I think the Lions are just like them, but they just go out and lose games they have no reason losing to. Like they lose to teams that they're way better than. Jameis Winston plays trash against defenses that he shouldn't, and it's just ridiculous. They outcoach themselves. Their players underperform, and something's got to change there soon. I have the Cardinals.
Well, okay. Let's talk about this Rams Jaguars game. It's already 7-7, and the game just kicked off.
Wow, how much time do we have, or how much time?
25 seconds.
Wow.
Let me tell you this.
Are we in for a shootout?
No. Opening kickoff goes 103 yards for a touchdown.
Wow.
Pharaoh Cooper. And then here's the Jaguars right afterwards. They're like, you know what? You guys can go for a long touchdown. We'll give it to our rookie running back, who I like so much, out of LSU, Leonard Fournette. 75 yards up the middle for a touchdown.
Wow. That's the second week in a row.
Well, yeah, except last week it was like a 90-yard.
True. Yeah, it's really hard to say, with teams like these, because the Jaguars have had a surprisingly decent campaign with their just dominant defense, a.k.a. Saxonville, putting up those sack numbers against the Houston Texans back when...
10 sacks in week one. That's uncalled for.
I almost feel sorry for Tom Savage, but I really don't.
Neither do I.
And I'm going to be saying that a lot this episode. I almost feel sorry for him. But
really, I feel bad for the Savage. He
Anyway.
took Brock Osweiler's job last year.
Deshaun Watson, yep.
And then Deshaun Watson just comes in and he's like, sup, it's my job now.
Lots of savages in Houston.
Next, we're going to talk about, probably my game of the week. Pittsburgh at Kansas City.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like Big Ben will bounce back after throwing 5 picks to Saxonville. And, because, KC's defense, yes, they're really good.
Yeah.
But last year, Big Ben picked them apart in Kansas City nonetheless. And threw, I think it was 5 touchdowns and 300 yards. Something like that.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on this one, and here's why. The Chiefs are a very different team from last year. We've made that clear. They may not be very different, roster-wise.
Well,
but
yeah,
I
they're
think
worse. They lost Eric Berry for the year with the torn Achilles.
Good point. But they have great running back like Kareem Hunt. Alex Smith is having a year, and when I say a year, I mean a year. And Tyreek Hill is doing his thing.
Tyreek Hill is the most inconsistent player on that team. I know. I have him on my fantasy team. He's been benched.
Now, you wouldn't be saying that just because you're a Broncos fan, now, would you?
No. It's not. It's not because I completely hate the Chiefs or anything.
All right. I'll take that as a. I'll take that as a yes.
Don't worry, we're going to be going into my actual game of the week soon. Next, we got the Chargers at Raiders.
Do you think it's a crap fest, or do you think it'll be a good one?
Honestly, I think it might be a good one. I never count the Chargers out.
Yeah,
and you can prove that by last week. Then again, it was the Giants, but both teams 0-4,
Mhm.
and the Chargers known for blowing a lead in the fourth quarter and then winning it in the fourth quarter.
I gotta tell you something. This may be obvious to some, but for others it isn't. Philip Rivers is not elite. All right, Philip Rivers
No,
is
no,
not
no, no,
elite.
no. That I disagree with.
Really?
Philip Rivers is an elite quarterback.
You think so?
Yes.
And why is that?
You surround him with a trash team every year of his career, pretty much. The only two good players he's ever had on offense, Antonio Gates with Damian Tomlinson.
Okay, but let's think about.
And he's thrown for 4,000 yards every single year of his career and 30-plus touchdowns.
But let's think about all the ridiculous picks he's thrown. He's had so many miscommunications with his wide receivers. Most of the cases, it being his fault. And I just don't see him, being all that great. If I were making my ideal NFL team, I would not have him at quarterback position. I got the Raiders winning this one. Derek Carr's coming back. I think him and Michael Crabtree are going to be a strong connection again, just like the last year. And I think Amari Cooper can, grow some hands and catch a ball this time around. What do you think?
No, Amari Cooper's been trash. He leads the league in drops. And I feel like he'll just keep it up that way. Now for my actual game of the week. Sunday night football. New York Giants at Denver Broncos.
I think we all know who's going to win this one.
Hell yeah. New York Giants.
Yeah.
They're going to win it 21-7.
Yeah, no Odell, trash defense, trash quarterback. Let's do it, man.
No name receivers. They're going to win it 21-7.
No. Obviously, the Broncos are going to win, but
no. I was kidding about that. It's going to be like, if I'm going to give an actual score, if Denver beat the Cowboys, what was it, 42-17?
Yes, Grant, that was the final score.
And the Cowboys are a good team. I will admit that. They have a good team. Oh, I hate to say this. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback.
Well, thank you, Grant, for finally admitting that after it took you so long to realize that.
A year and a half, yes. A year and a half.
All right, so
Hold up, no, we're still talking about this. I feel like Von Miller will have 3 sacks.
Oh, my God.
I feel like Von Miller will have 3 sacks. And you know why I say that?
Why?
If the Giants gave up 2 sacks alone to Melvin Ingram last week, I believe it was. And Von Miller's way better than Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
And he's playing against the same person.
Yep.
I feel like Von will have more sacks.
It's very possible.
But I feel like the final will be like, I'm gonna go big here. 56-7.
A 50 burger, really?
Yes, sir.
Well, what I think is going to happen, I think Denver's going to get a solid 35 points within the first half. And I think they're just going to run the ball out and, conserve the clock, just like the Cowboys did to the Browns last year.
70-0.
Stupid. All right, let's check out the Monday night game.
Monday night game. That is the Colts and Titans, I believe.
Colts-Titans. I have a feeling that this is going to be a good one. You can call me crazy all you want, but I feel like this is one of those sneaky matchups that can turn out to be a good one, just like Rams 49ers a couple of weeks ago on Thursday night.
You're right about that. That was a great game.
I think Mariota's coming back, if I'm not mistaken. Andrew Luck is still out, but
okay, well, Mariota's questionable. He's a game-time decision. If he plays, I'm definitely taking him over Jacoby Brissett in the Indianapolis Colts, without a doubt. Marcus Mariota's a great quarterback.
I agree with you. I think the Titans will struggle a lot without Mariota. DeMarco Murray, he brings, and Derrick Henry really bring a good running threat, but, I just don't think it's going to be enough. People think, like I'm going to use the Dallas Cowboys, for example. We are in, Dallas County after all.
Correction, we are in Denton County, not Dallas County.
You know what I mean. But, about 2 years ago, we didn't really have that great of a running back. Darren McFadden, I believe it was. But we did have that great O-line.
He's your running back again.
But with Matt Castle at quarterback, and Kalen Moore, Brandon Whedon, all those ridiculous backups we brought in. I just, they just 4-12, speaks for itself. But yeah, I'm gonna have the Colts in this one if Mariota doesn't play.
I know. Well, I agree with that because Jacoby Brissett. I feel like it's going to be a shootout that game.
Yeah.
Two terrible defenses, and I had the Titans as a top 5 defense going into the year. Mm-hmm. And I don't care if you say, "Oh, well, they weren't going to."
After the break, we're going to be talking about a couple of topics. We're going to be talking about our fantasy picks for this coming week, and we're also going to be talking about the Ezekiel Elliott suspension that has just recently been reinstated by Roger Goodell in the NFL. Stay tuned to TCFP.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back to TCFP, produced by Calling Card Productions. Now, Grant, before the day ends here today, there's a certain topic I'd like to talk about, and that's the Ezekiel Elliott suspension.
Oh my God, I've been wanting to talk about this for forever now.
Now, Roger Goodell and the NFL, there's a lot of complicated stuff going down with the court rulings and Texas judges, denying or delaying Zeke's suspension, but now it looks like he's going to be serving all 6 games.
Oh, I'm happy about that. He's on my fantasy team.
Real smart. Grant Ramsey, real smart guy right here. You're gonna be surprised when I say this. As a Cowboys fan, I'm almost glad he's serving his suspension. Now, let's think about it here for a second. Zeke got shut down against the Broncos. He got
9 rushing yards.
Yeah, I was about to say 9 rushing yards maybe total. And he's just been real off since then. It's taken him a while to get started in games. He did have a little bit of a bounce back at Green Bay when he rushed for over 118 yards. He didn't get any touchdowns, but he did have a little bit of a bounce back there. But now he won't be having any kind of bounce back next week with his suspension, and it looks like either...
Okay, well, hold up. You have to remember this. It could easily be overturned, and then it could be reinstated during the playoffs.
That's true.
That would be the worst.
Yeah.
If you guys even make the playoffs.
True, because at this rate, it does not look like it. Now, let me ask you this. I want to know your opinion on this. Who do you think will start at running back for Dallas? You got Alfred Morris, Darren McFadden. What do you think?
Alfred Morris.
Yeah? I think he can do it.
No. If I'm going to be honest, this is what I think will happen. They'll sign Chris Johnson.
Really? You really think Dallas is going to be that desperate for a running back?
No.
You don't?
No.
Yeah. With that O-line?
Well, yeah, they could go with they could sign a high school kid. They could be like, yo, yeah, you play for random high school. Insert random high school name here. Come play for us for this week. And then he could run for 300 yards and 38 broken tackles.
He'll lead the league in rushing.
For that week.
Just how great, the Cowboys' O-line is. But now I wanted to talk about more of the actual suspension itself.
I agree with it.
It was first given out at the very beginning of the season by Roger Goodell. And I want to know why you agree with it, because I really don't see...
Well, when you lift up a girl's shirt in public...
But I feel like the suspension was more towards his...
Well, no. Was it that, or was it him abusing his girlfriend?
I believe it was the false domestic violence accusations against him with his former girlfriend.
I don't think it's false. You can say whatever. Oh, hold up. Little updates on scores. Ready?
Yeah.
Arizona up 14-0.
What did I tell you? Games Tampa Bay just are losing for no good reason.
And New Orleans is up 52-38.
Oh my God. 50 burger by New Orleans. I know it's Drew Brees and everything, but come on.
I told you the Lions defense is trash.
I guess I should have taken your word for it. How's the I want to ask before we get into our fantasy picks for this week. How's the Rams Jaguars looking right now? Because that's one I really want to see.
Rams Jaguars. I don't know.
I still think this could be a very good game. I think Jared Goff, Blake Bortles, 2 very young quarterbacks, can put up quite a show.
But Blake Bortles is trash. And if you thought TC was the definition of trash can, you're wrong. It is Blake Bortles.
That's a good point there.
And update on the score, it is 14-10 Jaguars.
Wow. Now, I want to ask you one more question. I know I said that would be the last question, but I have yet another one. Whose defense do you think will be more dominant? Do you have the Rams or do you have the Jaguars? Defensive. I mean, in my opinion, it's hard to say because you have stars on the Rams like Aaron Donald, and then you
Who
have
else?
Jaguars. I don't know.
I'm taking Jaguar. I'm
not
taking
familiar.
Jacksonville.
Saxonville. You think it'll make a bad day for Jared Goff? I agree. All right. Now, without further ado, let's get into our fantasy picks.
Fantasy picks.
What me and Grant here are going to be doing is going over our best fantasy, or I say best, I mean underrated fantasy players for this week. Now,
Deshaun Watson. He was underrated. He still is.
Still is. I think he's received much praise from the entire league, and if anyone, you.
Okay, actually though, let's get through this quick. I think underrated quarterback for this week was or is going to be what's his name? Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer.
I feel like he's gonna because he hasn't had that one. He hasn't had a good game all year. I feel like this will be the week he has an outstanding game.
That's an interesting pick, I tell you what. I gave a lot of thought on my quarterback position on who should be my starter for this week, and I looked at Carson Wentz because he's just been having such a great season so far with all the his touchdown interception ratio.
Honestly, hold up. If we're gonna talk about that, then I'm gonna talk about my quarterback in both my fantasy leagues, Deshaun Watson. I picked him up, and this week I was in a bind. I was like, well, Drew Brees coming off a bye week playing the Detroit Lions, or do I take Deshaun Watson versus the Cleveland Browns? And I think I took the better pick because Deshaun Watson had 24 points, and Brees has 13.
Really?
Yeah, Brees has 2 touchdowns, and Brees has 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Yeah. Well, I gotta tell you, who I really think will have a bounce back game this week is going to be Derek Carr. He's coming back from injury. He's going to take advantage of that terrible Los Angeles Chargers. Sorry, there's 2 LAs now. The LA Chargers defense, and
I feel like Chargers are going to win it still.
I got a bold prediction though. I have 5 touchdowns by Derek Carr.
Whoa!
5 touchdowns.
No.
Yep. Even bolder, 3 to Michael Crabtree.
They're not playing the Jets.
But that Chargers defense, though.
Yeah, it has Casey Hayward, who led the interception with interceptions last year.
True,
Wait, did I just say he led the interceptions?
Yeah,
he led the league in interceptions last year.
Well, I still have Derek Carr at quarterback. All right, now let's go over wide receivers.
Will Fuller. Will Fuller. Let me tell you why I say that. The guy has, I think it is 8 receptions on the year, and 5 of them are for touchdowns. That's an outstanding stat to think of. 8 receptions for 5 touchdowns.
You know who I just, for some reason, it's one of these weird things I have when I do football, picks for fantasy, but you know who I have a real good feeling about this year and this week is Sammy Watkins. I think he's going to have a good game against the Jags. I think he's going to I think he's going to burn Jalen Ramsey. I think he's going to make him look silly.
Whoa,
and
that's
I think
bold prediction.
Call it bold all you want. I call it just a regular prediction because I think he can be done easily. And Jalen Ramsey really isn't that good as many people think, in my own opinion. But yeah, I have Sammy Watkins. And I do have a second wide receiver I have for this year, and it's or this week I mean, and it's goes back to your Carson Palmer pick. It's Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, you know who I have to go along with my Carson Palmer pick?
Who's that?
Jerron Brown.
Really?
Who is on my fantasy team and already has me 3 points, 1 reception for 30 yards.
I have a prediction today. Fitzgerald's gonna get. Well, he might already have it, but I think Fitzgerald's gonna get two touchdowns today.
That's a major L on your part.
All right. Now, how about running backs? I'm gonna let
Oh,
you do this one first.
Chris Thompson.
Chris Thompson.
Chris Thompson, I picked him up because he had a great game against the Rams, and I picked him up. And this week, you know what he had for me? 4 receptions for 105 yards, 16 rushes for 33 yards.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, who I have for running back, and the only reason I have this one as kind of an underdog is because he's having a huge bounce back season this year so far, anyway, and I think it'll continue this week. And once again, this goes back to my Rams Jaguars games. It's Todd Gurley. I think he's going to have 150 rushing yards and hold on, 200 yards in total.
I think he's on my bench.
You're stupid.
I'm kidding. No, I think I have him starting. Now, I'm going to make you a little bit happy with this. Ready? So you know how you said, how many interceptions do you think Derek Carr will have this week?
None.
Well, he has 22 yards and an interception already.
All right. Well, hold on now. Never say never. All right, there's plenty of football left. There's plenty of football left, people.
Yes, sir. I'm winning in both my leagues.
Idiot. All right.
Hey, you check your leagues.
All right, let's go over tight ends now. I want to talk about a Houston tight end that's been a really reliable target for Deshaun Watson, and that's Ryan Griffin. You know, he's obviously not the greatest tight end in the league, but he can be a good target for Watson, and you know Watson's good at finding targets.
Will Fuller.
Uh,
A little bit of some more news. There's still a minute 13 in that Saints-Lions game, and the Saints have the ball.
Really? Once again, almost feel sorry for the Lions, but it's hard to.
I honestly don't. For kicker.
Kicker?
Who do you have?
Oh man, that's a hard choice. Just kidding. No, it's not. Greg Zuerlein. He had quite a game against the Cowboys.
Oh, you know who I have?
How many points did he have in total? 27 against the Cowboys.
You know who I have?
Who do you have?
Steven Hauschka.
Steven Hauschka.
Within 3 weeks alone, he put up 47 points.
Who does he play for?
The Bills.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He is. I think it is 11 for 11 from 50 yards.
Who are the Bills playing this week?
Bills are on their bye week this week.
Oh, interesting. Well, then it's not very useful this week, is it now, smart one?
No, I picked up Matt Prater. He has me 9 points.
That's a good choice, too, actually. All right, now let's go over defense.
Broncos.
Smart. Broncos fan right here, everybody. Yeah, that one's pretty self-explanatory, don't you think?
Yeah. I'm taking the Broncos defense mainly because we got the no-fly zone, a dominant front seven, number one run defense, by the way.
Don't let the Manning jersey fool you, by the way. I'm not a Broncos fan.
It's mine.
Yeah, it's his. Well, this one's pretty self-explanatory. Has me 23 points today, which is insane for a defense, is Texans. You know, if they haven't been picked up already, we've been talking about the Texans a lot this podcast, and why not? There's just such an exciting team at the moment. They got a young quarterback, fantastic
They're
defense,
just great.
but typical JJ Watt going down for the year.
Oh, here's a topic that we should do before we end it off. Do you think JJ Watt's a Hall of Famer?
This is a really hard topic for me because he's obviously a fantastic player. He's one of the most athletic in the league, one of the strongest in the league, if not the strongest in the league. But with all his injuries, I mean, it's just hard. It's hard to judge. Now, do I think the NFL will do it? Yes, I do, because they've
it's actually based off the people. The people vote. But honestly, if I were to say, I think JJ Watt's a Hall of Famer. Like, he could retire this year. He's had an outstanding career. 76 sacks in multiple 20-sack seasons. Like, that's uncalled for. One of the best pass rushers in the league. I nearly said the best, but that would be putting him above my beloved Von Miller. That's impossible.
Well, it's not very impossible for me because I have him over Von Miller any day of the week.
I wouldn't.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for TCP, the Colony Football Podcast. This was produced by Calling Card Productions. If you want to see any future podcasts of ours, be sure to check out our YouTube channel or go to www.callingcardproductions.weebly.com. All right, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you all next time.